Okay.
Sorry, Simon.
Okay, as a functional food, sauerkraut stand out as a beacon of hope. Now, offering a tantalizing glimpse into a future where cancer prevention is as simple as enjoying your favorite snack. Now, sauerkraut, this humble cabbage concoction, undergo fermentation process that enrich it with isotype cyanide. Okay, this is a word very hard to pronounce. Okay, this is so that's sorry, I get back to okay. So a research study in Finland, they delve into the transformating journey of cabbage and how they found that fermentation unlocked a cascade of health benefit. Okay. So the research analyzed a variety of biologically active compounds in sauerkraut. And although the cabbage is rich in a compound called glycosinolate, the researchers found that during the fermentation process, enzymes are released that completely decompose the compound into several breakdown products. And then this breakdown product, majority of them is actually isothiocyanate. And okay, this is the fermentation process. What has been released, you can actually find is lactic acid, vitamin C, mineral, and fiber. And talking about vitamin C, if you remember, during those old time when, Christopher Columbus or those sailors, they need to cross over huge ocean. One of the problems they suffer is actually vitamin C deficiency. And actually many sailors actually suffer from that one. So they pack sauerkraut, barrel of them into the ship hold. And then they will take this sauerkraut, and then they're actually getting vitamin C from that sauerkraut. All right. So it solves the problem of vitamin C deficiency. Okay. I think there's some mix up here, but anyway, I will show you this fermentation. Okay. That's all from my very short and tell. Because actually there's a lot to talk about fermented food, but because I do not want to, I would prefer a two-way things like that. So I think that will make it more interesting. So does anyone have any thoughts or any question, or any story that you would like to tell?
Yes, Anne has a question.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My question, Simon, thank you very much. That's very nice. I love talking to you because you're always talking about nutrition. That's wonderful. And we've talked about fermentation, before. For this particular one, do you have to use the starter culture?
Oh, okay. Yes, you notice that I use the starter culture, and this starter culture is actually I bought from Donna Swank, that's how I bought from her. And last time when I make this fermentation, I use just using salt, and the probiotic from the air and also from the cabbage. But it take a bit longer. Sometimes it moldy, and it's also a bit salty because sometimes you put too much salt. But with this starter culture, it kind of accelerate the fermentation, and the sauerkraut tastes so much nicer, crunchier, not so salty. That just now from video, you can actually see there's a batch, because the starter culture is only 2 grams, and each batch that I make is about 5 pounds. So I only just need 3 tablespoons, 3 teaspoons of salt and 3 cups of water. Previously, I actually used maybe 5, 6 tablespoons, or sometimes even add more, and it's actually very salty. And this is trial and error, but apparently after using the starter culture, yeah, it is very nice. After about a week, after a week, I noticed that I will put it into the fridge to let it continue to ferment slowly. Because at a cooler temperature, the fermentation is slower, and it let it, kind of like age, and you can actually take it out and eat. And yeah, it's delicious.
Thank you.
I'm a fermenting virgin.
Awesome, Vicky.
After our first session, I actually went to it. So I have fermented carrots, kale, some spinach, some salads, a lot of things, and experimented a lot with spices as well. But I've never used one of those powders. I just, crunched it long time, massaged everything through until it was dripping with the water, and I didn't use that much salt. And mine is now in the fridge, and it's been sitting there for 3 months, and it's perfect.
Yes, so
I made golden kale.
Yes, good job. Yeah,
Really beautiful.
yes. I'm so glad and happy, that you're onto that fermented food kind of journey. Because I want to use this platform to encourage everyone. If you have not started doing any fermentation, be it like dairy, beverage like kombucha, kefir, or sauerkraut, I think you should maybe consider it, because I think this is a food that, it's actually a very ancient arts of preserving food. Before the invention of refrigeration, the people there, the farmer, especially when there are a lot of cabbage, they harvest a lot. They basically ferment it, and they can last very long. And not knowing that there's a lot of nutrient being released, and then there's a lot of science. I mean, in my brief explanation, there's a lot of science research that show that all these fermented food, they have a lot of probiotic. And imagine, I read one research paper. It was saying that a cup of sauerkraut contain about 1 trillion probiotic. Imagine when
Simon, that powder you were using, what's that called? Luann is asking, what's the name of that package?
Oh, you mean the starter culture, you're saying?
Yeah, the starter culture.
Oh, the starter culture, okay. Okay, then what I will put it into the chat later.
In the chat, perfect, Simon. Thank you.
You can go to website and actually, it's an American company, so you can go to the website there and you can buy. I buy from her that way. So anyway, yeah. So a cup of sauerkraut has so much of this probiotic. So imagine, not only when you take this crunchy, delicious sauerkraut into your gut, you're having all this probiotic. You're also taking all the vitamin C, and all the enzyme and the lactic acid, all this, and it actually are so beneficial for us. Versus when we take a lot of processed food, we are taking a lot of chemical additive. You're actually killing off a lot of these good probiotic. So, for good health, yes, this is the way to go. And I've been taking this for many, many years. And again, I just like Vicky was saying, I used to be a virgin. We learn, we try and error, make a lot of mistakes. And then over the year, you learn and then you begin to master it. And then, of course, being a master, you need to share it. So I get very excited and very happy if whoever want to, because I know that this is going to benefit you. It's going to benefit you, and then you're going to enjoy. Imagine you can put sauerkraut on your sandwiches, sausage.
You have a question, Simon, from Thomas.
Yes, Thomas. Hi, Thomas.
Good day, evening, etc. Is it better, Simon, to use a store-bought, a brand, and should it be a jar or a can? I know they have other additives and things when you purchase them, but what's best, in your opinion, jar, can, or just make your own?
Or you're talking about the container, you're saying? The container.
That as well. And
Okay.
that as well, yeah.
Okay.
What's best if you have to purchase it?
The best is use glass. Glass is actually the best recommended, I know. So you notice the glass that I use the tall one, because I think it's important. Because after second day, you can see a lot of fermentation taking place, and if you to fill it up to the brim, you will see that the liquid is, I think Vicky know, the liquid is actually the juice, from the cabbage, So you use a long one, you only use 50% to give ample space for expansion, because you can see that a lot of bubbling taking place. All right. So
A lot of space, Thomas, a lot of space.
Okay.
I had mine standing here in the kitchen counter, and when I came out the morning after, I thought, what happened? There was like burping all over. I had 5 cans and they were just like burping all over. So I put them in a deep plate and I left them there for, I think, a week. And then after some time, I put them in the fridge, and it's like Simon says, it is delicious. Iris?
Thank you.
Yeah, hi. I have a question. I heard from a friend of mine that he does pineapple fermentation. I don't know how bad, or do you know anything about fruits fermentation? That some people likes to use it as a helping
Oh, okay.
health. I don't know.
Okay, pineapple fermentation. Because the fruit sometimes they add sugar, they add the sugar. It's actually for the yeast, and okay, for pineapple, I don't actually ferment pineapple per se, but what I do is, because I make kombucha, right? I brew kombucha. Because kombucha, is very sour. Some people don't like the soury taste, so I will, but in Singapore, we have a lot of pineapple. So we buy the pineapple, I will get a juice extractor to extract out the juice. So what I did is, I will use like a ratio of like maybe 6:4. In other words, 6 part of kombucha, maybe 4 part of pineapple juice. So when they combine them together, pineapple juice is pretty sweet, and the kombucha is very sour. And you combine them together, you have a kombucha pineapple juice. So you see, you actually infusing the pineapple juice into the kombucha, and then you enhance the taste, and you're getting all the nutrient. So this is what I do lah. But talking about fruit fermentation, I don't do that. Or maybe because my vegetable fermentation will actually keep me quite busy. And then I got my kefir, and I got my super gut yogurt, and I got my kombucha, and my whole fridge. My wife is complaining, hey, no space. Hogging up all the space, because you need a lot of space for fermented food. All had to be in the refrigeration, right, Vicky? So you need a bigger fridge space. So if you are really into fermentation, you need a bigger fridge space. Otherwise, your wife he will complain, no space.
Thank you, Simon. I think Melanie has a question as well.
Yeah. Melanie?
Yes. Can
Hey,
you hear me?
Samantha,
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm talking on my cell phone and I'm looking at you on the computer. Oh, now I see Zoom user. Oh well. Yeah, had a question when you were talking about you used 5 pounds to make this. And then I thought, okay, so where do you store it? Do you have to store it in the refrigerator? I mean, yeah, what do you do with all that
Okay.
stuff, Simon?
Yeah, normally I make a batch is 5 pounds. Because that starter culture recommend 5 pounds. So, and the starter culture is only 2 grams. 2 grams of that probiotic starter culture. So 5.
I don't know what 2 grams mean. That's a little bit
2 grams, just a little bit only. It's just
of
maybe
the culture. Is that what you're
the
talking
culture.
about? Oh,
The
okay.
culture. So talking about the 5 pounds of cabbage. All right, this is 1 batch. So normally with that starter culture, with 1 batch of 5 pounds of that cabbage, normally I will do each time, and it can last me probably maybe 2-3 months. So
But I mean, is it refrigerated? Are you making it for the whole neighborhood? I mean, what
okay.
does it go down to a little bit or something?
Okay. After the 7 day, after the 7 day, outside the counter, you have to ferment for 7 days. Then after that, you put inside the fridge. So 5 pounds actually of that fermentation in two glass jar. Actually, it's not the 2 glass jar. Actually, it's 3. God, I didn't show it. Actually, it's 3. And that will actually
Wait, it's 3 what? It comes 3 pounds? Is that what you said?
That jar, that cylindrical tall jar.
Yeah.
can go in almost like 5 pounds of that cabbage.
So
That's sauerkraut.
it condenses down.
Yes, so it become so now it become no more cabbage, it's sauerkraut. So the question here is storage. Because
Yes.
when you make sauerkraut 5 pounds, then you got to store in the fridge. Then you make then I like to make onion, because I love onion. So then, of course, onion I don't make 5 pounds. Maybe I make up to 1 pound, 2 pounds. Then I mix other vegetable, other mixed vegetable. Then all going to go inside the fridge. And there's so much space the fridge can hold. And then don't forget, my wife cook, she also got all other things, so no space. So I would recommend, if you want to go into this, you need to buy a bigger fridge that is dedicated to store all your fermented food from kombucha, from your kefir, so the whole fridge is all your.
Oh my goodness. So in other words, we need to move next door to you.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
But
Yeah.
in other words, we can just make it in smaller batches or something. I don't know. Vicky said she's got some, she's had it for a month.
You know
Yes.
what? I'm gonna let Anne ask her question, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna go out in my fridge and fetch some of it, and I'll show you what I did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky.
Anne, you can ask
have
the question. I'll be back in a swift.
Okay, I have 2 questions. First, you have to put a load on it, right, to kind of take it down so that it doesn't, oxygen, air, whatever. So that's one of the issues that I have, because everything I put, it starts coming out from the sides. The other question is the ratio of salt to water. Like I just did a batch lately and it came salty.
Yes.
And I can't taste the sour in it.
Yeah.
In previous batches, I've tasted sour. It became sour, that's how it's supposed to be. So I don't know why, this is happening.
Yeah, that's a problem. As I say, when I initially when I do this try and error, so sometimes it tend to be salty. Sometimes you don't put enough sufficient salt or sufficient weight, then it become moldy. You can see, more white mold going on top, because all these have to be submerged. So normally to find a weight, normally I will use a bottle, add with water, to a smaller bottle that can fit into the jar. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then of course you can push it down. But normally because somehow when you make this fermented cabbage, because small pieces will float out. It will float out. So normally I will use cabbage, the discarded cabbage, to act as like to put on top of it and put on the weight to weigh it down. But of course you will still find some, but it's okay, no problem.
Oh,
This
okay.
the majority is inside, and then when you do, you have to pack it in, compact it, drive out the air, and then it's submerged under the liquid, under the brine. That is important, because that's to keep that bacteria away.
Yeah, but is there a rule of thumb for the salt and water? Like for each cup, you need 1 tablespoon or half, or
Okay. So normally they recommend like if you 1 kg,
kilogram?
1 kg you use maybe 1 tablespoon.
Oh,
Sorry, not 5 kg pound. You're talking about pound. So here we're talking about 5. Okay, so I mean at that time when I try 1 kg, I will use maybe 1 to 2 tablespoons.
okay.
But now with the starter culture, I only use 3 tablespoons of for 5 pounds.
But the water, how
And
much
water is
water
3
to
cups,
salt?
3 cups, 3 cups,
3 cups.
3 cups.
Oh, I didn't put water in mine.
Yeah, because you no. You don't
You
start
see,
a
this
culture
is my
and
golden
water.
kale.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
And I actually brought a few more cans because I have something cool I figured out to show you. And this is another fermentation.
Yeah. Oh, yes. What is that? Carrot?
That
Already?
is white kale, carrot, kohlrabi, onions,
Hmm.
dill, and something else. I don't know what's called in English.
Okay. And it's all
And
from your garden?
now look here, if you want to ferment, what I did is because I didn't know how, everything said you have to
yeah.
keep your fermentation under the fluid. And I thought, how on earth am I going to do that? So I don't know if you can see it, I took a plastic bag
Yes.
and I put that inside the jar and I filled it with water to
Okay.
make sure it would
Yes.
push the fermentation down. And this
Okay.
is a corrido, and that is white kale, carrot, ginger, onions, forest onions, citra melissus, oregano, and paprika.
Hmm. And you don't
Yummy.
use water at all? No water at
No.
all?
Nope.
It's their own juice then.
Yeah, because what I did is I massaged it until I thought my hands were going to fall off.
How much salt?
And then I actually made chutney as well.
Oh. Hmm.
Simon, I've been a good girl.
Good student.
Okay,
How
one
much
question for
salt?
you.
Sorry. Vicky, how much salt did you put? Because that's very important. The salt and water, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I looked at it and then I did like this and I thought, then I massaged it a little bit more and I thought, okay, when it's dripping with fluid, then everything is good. And then I just put it in the jar and then put it to burp on the top. And this is what it burped out of. So it's
Perfect.
not even full.
Yeah.
I haven't taken anything from this one.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Gary.
One question for Vicky. Vicky, I'm just kind of curious, you when you take all this fermented food, do you find any different, in your digestion or in anything, see any different?
What I find very, very different is that I had been taking probiotics to keep my stomach because after I was sick, I've had huge troubles with getting my gut flora back into a healthy state. I can tell you, when I started eating my own fermentation, I only took one tablespoon a day. Yeah, there was a bit of difference. Kind of a big difference. It was not me walking to the toilet. I was like running for 5 or 6 days, and then it normalized.
Oh, okay.
And now I can see my stool is, I think I'm a student A in stool because it looks like that snake you were talking about. Yeah, give me 5.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah,
And I can only concur with you, Simon. If you never tried to ferment, go along with it. It's so much fun. And it really is crunchy. You need to get used to the taste, but it tastes fantastic. Sorry, Dr. Gary, you were waiting too long.
yeah, Dr. Gary, sorry.
No, sorry. That's what my question was all about, how do you get started? Because I know you use ginger and then a little bit of everything in there almost. Some of these recipes are wonderful. And my question to Simon is, what would you suggest we use to get started? Just do cabbage? maybe to start off with and learn how to do cabbage and then try to add in other things, or how do we start?
Okay. Before I answer your question, maybe Vicky, because you started you started trying, what would you suggest?
Oh,
For people who first
I
time
am
do-
hardly under the category of normal, because I bought 7 of those and I just went on. I made 7 different fermentations and I did it. I can actually see it because I've got the date on my glasses. On the 13th of September. October. So these are from the 10th of October. And they are perfectly fine. And they are just as crunchy as the other ones. But this is my favorite.
Well,
This
well,
is-
can you give your recipe of what you
Yes.
did?
I can bet you get my recipe. It's I call it golden kale. It's kale, and then I put coriander in it, and I put a mixed spice that I'm going to sniff around and see if I can find out what I put in that, because it's something I mix myself too. But this is really good. And then of course curry.
I have to interrupt and say that your recipes just sound so delicious, Vicky, and it's been so helpful. Thank you.
Okay, I'll write them down.
I would
Uh,
think that you could probably ferment anything that sounded good to you. Is there anything that you should never ferment? Maybe we should take out something like that.
Okay, to answer to Dr. Gary's question, for especially those who want to try fermentation, so I think sauerkraut would be a good way to go, because you can get cabbage quite easily, all right, and it's very simple. So I mean, you can do maybe start with a small batch, maybe 1 pound. So you go to the supermarket, you buy one cabbage, Sometimes it depends. Some it could be huge size, It could be 1 pound, 2 pound. That is good to go. And then you just need salt. Then you need and you need salt and the glass. And then and you're ready to go. Of course, if you want if you want the starter culture, it will be good. If you don't want starter culture, it's also fine, Then you need to chop it, cut it, into small pieces, so that then after that you massage it. Because by massaging, you actually break open the cell wall of the cabbage, release up the juice. And then you add salt. The whole idea of putting salt, of course, is to prevent bad bacteria from coming in, because the bacteria doesn't like salt. It basically kill them. And then you wait for maybe a couple of days, where the natural probiotic from the cabbage, it start to produce lactic acid. And then that's where you get that crunchiness, that sourness taste. And even you will taste the liquid, it's actually sour.
Oh yes.
It's not salty, it's sour.
Yeah.
And sour means that's the lactic acid that has been produced by the lactobacillus. The lactobacillus basically produce this lactic acid that make it sour. And of course, in the fermentation process, a lot of things has been released. And one of them that I actually mentioned briefly in the presentation is the isothiocyanate, which is a anti-cancer agent. Because just now I didn't actually talk much on some of the study. So there's one study, they say that the this, I mean, epidemiology study, the evidence show that, Polish women who migrated to the US, they tend to higher incident of breast cancer. Because statistically speaking, back in Poland, a lot of them, they take a lot of this cabbage. So the incidence of breast cancer is actually much, much lower, so these are evident, And of course, there are also animal study which show that, this particular isothiocyanate, which is found in sauerkraut, can actually, in animal study, in my study, and they can actually inhibit the cancer in like the liver,
Oh, no, don't go there. Go around the other side.
lung, in the animal model. So, but of course, because people will say, hey, this is only an animal model, is there any clinical on human trial, things like that. But I think the very fact is that you enjoy this food, this crunchy, delicious, and you're going to derive the side benefit. And if it's anti-cancer agent, the isothiocyanate that is present in sauerkraut, oh, that's better still, we're getting bonus, and you make it yourself, it's so cheap. So
Oh,
you
yes.
got the best deal.
Simon, before you get on, Jackie has a question.
Yes. Yes, Jackie or Iris.
Iris, you can go.
Okay, I just have a quick question for you. If you get to buy it from the stores, can you is it almost the same? Because sometimes you don't have time to do all this, but I love to buy it from Costco. I think it's a great product. And what is the difference between making it yourself and buying it?
Oh yeah, you can buy it, but if you try to buy it from the refrigerated section, because at least then yeah, I think store-bought sauerkraut, yes, it's also good. Yeah, because I know that we are very busy, we are busy people, got no time. So yeah, you can buy from the store. It's pretty good, and it's better than those who have. It is, you see, the thing is, it's better you eat sauerkraut from the store-bought than not doing anything. I think that's the point I'm trying to say. They're not having fermented food. So store-bought, be it kimchi, be it sauerkraut, be it kefir, fermented food is much, much better than you're eating processed food. I think that's the point I'm trying to say.
And Iris, this is the difference too. You don't get the exercise from crunching it. Jackie?
Oh, I love that. I love everything that has been shared. I love sauerkraut. Kimchi is one of the things that I first learned to like, being from Hawaii. We have that with every meal because we have rice. Yes, I've bought it from the store. I have not yet made it myself, but this is inspiring. Especially Vicky, all your different variety of things. I love curry. So when you said that, I woke up really big eyes on that one. I'm asking, when you're using it, and I'm hearing you're doing it by the spoonfuls, by the cupfuls, so am I hearing that you're doing it mostly raw? You're not cooking with it per se?
No.
It's raw.
I'm actually doing like, I have a smaller can, so I don't have to open this all the time. So once a week I go out and then I fill 3 cans with fermentation. And then every time we have a hot meal, today we've had an Asian soup. So of course we didn't eat it today. So but then I put it on top of my bread, on part of the things I put on my bread. And I only eat 1 tablespoon a day. And that was actually a question I had for Simon. How much do you want us to eat a day?
And Vicky, what are you putting on your bread?
The fermentation.
No, with that.
Some kind of ham or
Yeah.
a sausage or whatever I eat. Eggs. This one is whoa, yummy on with eggs. Sorry.
Oh, and I was gonna say that when I cook these days, I call myself a 50-50 cook. So if I can shorten, I mean, I'm not getting the muscles like you're talking, Vicky, or maybe half of it. But so when I'm doing coleslaw, instead of cutting the cabbage anymore, I'll just get the package that's already cut up. So that's the way I was going to introduce myself to doing this, is kind of cut corners a little bit and get a bag of the cabbage that's already cut. So anyway,
You know what,
just my
Jackie?
thought.
That is absolutely 80% better than doing nothing.
Yep. So
Can
how
I
much,
ask
Simon?
one more question?
Yeah, and
How is this compared to pickling? Because I remember in the back home, you know,
Ah.
my mom used to pickle cucumber, and it's around the same thing, you know, like cucumber and salt water, and they keep it for some time, and you know, and then we start eating it. So is that same thing? Is that considered fermenting?
no, pickling is not fermenting, you know. It's a different thing, you know, because you know, fermenting is actually, because when you pickle, okay, fermenting, we're actually using the natural probiotic to do the work for you by breaking down, pre-digest the, you know, the fruit, I mean the vegetable, in this case, let's say cabbage, all right? Whereas pickling, they don't really use they don't really so-called like, you know, using this probiotic. So it is not considered like a fermented food, even though yes, it is a condiment, you know. It basically, you know, it enhance your something like that, you know.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, Judy, sorry. Judy?
Somebody had asked about heating the fermentation product. Can you speak to that?
Oh yeah, the packet, right?
No, well, for instance, if I made a fermented sauerkraut, a lot of people think of a cooked meal with sauerkraut, but
Okay.
you'd still have the fermentation there, but it would be basically dead.
Yeah.
From what I understand. Yeah. So if you're looking to have the results of the probiotic in the fermentation, you don't want to heat it. So
Yeah, correct. Yes. Because you know that they say the sauerkraut, for this case sauerkraut, is steaming with probiotic, you know. So when you cook it, you basically denature it or you kill it. I think the whole idea is that we want this probiotic to goes into our gut.
yeah.
So if you cook it, you basically not getting the full benefit. But yeah, you still get the fiber, you know, maybe the mineral.
Yeah.
But the vitamin C that they have, you know, maybe become denatured, you know, things like that.
Yeah. Right.
So ideally you eat it. So normally for I eat, if they got soup, you know, I'll not put the soup, you know, I'll eat separately. You know, I take this one and I eat separately, you know. And I always goes with my meal, you know, and it's so delicious.
We
Yeah.
have one more question, and I'm sorry if we are going to run a little bit over time today, but I think it justifies it because it's really nice. Jackie?
Just to add a thought, what I was reading before about eating raw, which is what I'm hearing you're saying, that even if it was up to a 200 degrees, I would think cooking, it's still raw. So I guess it's a warm, you know, if you wanted it. It's just a thought. You could look it up yourself, but as I do cook with it, and I had not thought about using it on sandwiches, and that's why I thought I'd ask. And I mean, I could eat it raw, eat it right out. That's fine. But anyway, so I just wanted to mention that.
But remember the curry, Jackie.
Thank you.
I think has been absolutely, once again, wonderful session. And to follow this up next week, we have another very nice topic for you, because what is your vitamin mix? From Denmark, we have Allan Lassen coming in. Allan is a coach as well. And he is going to talk to us about a great vitamin mix. And you can look forward to that, because he knows a lot about what he's talking about. Dr. Samuelson, you want to finish off today?
And I just can't wait to get a cabbage and cut it up and then massage it. That actually sounds kind of that sounds kind of fun. I have never done it personally myself,
Yeah, the first 5
Iris
minutes
does
is
most of
fun.
the stuff in the kitchen, but that sounds actually pretty fun. And I'm looking forward also to the recipes. I've read the studies. And fermented foods are very, very healthful for you. They're full of health and everything that you need for both your digestive system and for your cells. So, I think that this is going to be a great addition to our program. Please send in your recipes, please, Vicky. Please.
Of course I will.
Send in your recipes.
Simon,
and Simon.
Thank you.
Okay.
And I add to my thank yous to Simon, especially for staying up late tonight. And
1 a.m. It's 1 a.m. now.
yes, I missed part of it. I'm going to watch the video again, because my computer just
Yeah,
quit on
the
me.
video.
Yes.
I'll send the video.
Don't forget to put the name
Yes.
of the packet in the chat.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay, so send me the video. I'll try to splice them together so they
Okay.
work. Then.
Okay.
Simon, you look so good, even though it's 1 o'clock in the morning for you. I'll be so tired. But thank you so much.
Yeah, when I learned how old Simon was, he's above 30. He only looks 30. He's about 40. He's about 50. He's above 60. So he's something around my age. And if I were able to look like Simon, that would be pretty cool.
Take more from me.
Yes, indeed. So we'll start the fermenting process. Thank you so much, everybody.
You know
Thank you,
what?
Simon.
I'm actually sharing my 8 years birthday with you today, because today,
Oh.
8 years ago, I was allowed to come back and stay alive.
Wow.
Wow. Want to hear
Thank
that
you,
story?
God.
All right. Thank you all. We'll see you next week then.
With
Look forward
Alan.
to your presentation, Alan. Thanks. Bye.
Have a good week, everybody.
Blessings.